Alright, next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to knife some areas so that we can create an opening for both the arm and the hip to go into the body. And then we'll also utilize some of those areas to help us bring in the bottom edge and top edge here of our body. So let's get started. What we'll do first here is using all four display windows, we'll kind of utilize those as a guide for knifing these areas. And what we're going to do is select Polygon tool, which we're going to be slicing the polygons. Hit K on the keyboard for knife. And what we're going to use here is we're going to use a loop knife. And uncheck restrict to selection. And as you can see here, as I draw that up and down, it's going to go all the way around. And we'll see that in the perspective window as soon as I do that. So I'm going to knife here. And again, you want to hold on the perpendicular to the line that you want to cut. If I hold up here on this line here, horizontal to the actual line, it indicates an up and down. So click there and down there, and you can see where we've divided that shoulder area here. And then also on the hip, what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to hit your spacebar. In the front window here, we're going to knife here, so hit K. And again, you can see I need to knife it here and approximately here. And again, be careful, don't jump down here where you think you might need to put your cursor. It's actually perpendicular to where you want to cut that hole. And as you can see now in the perspective window, we've cut all the way around, and so it's left us some nice four-sided polygons. Try to avoid the triangles, that's kind of the whole idea. The last thing that we're going to do is we are going to put a few perpendicular cuts in here so that we can create a square area that we can extrude in. So we're going to do this again from the right window display. Spacebar, click in that window display, and then knife again, clicking up top, and that looks pretty good there, and jump over here. Most of these again are guesstimates. They don't have to be exact, as long as we have a nice even space in between what we want to use. Alright, so we've got that set up, and now we're ready to do some movements, and then we will extrude, enter for the shoulder and the hips to go in. Select Live Selection Tool, make sure you're in Polygon Tool mode, and what we're going to do first is go in here and take a look. We want to be extruding this polygon and this polygon on both sides in, and to do that we're going to go ahead and select both sides. So what we're going to do is make sure that only select visible elements is unchecked, right? And using my right side here, shift select, and again if we go back around now, you can see that we've selected both sides automatically. If I try to do this in perspective, I'm likely to get a back edge because again I have only select visible elements unchecked, and at a perspective angle I might hit the wrong polygons on the back side. So make sure you're in the 2D views when you're doing that or utilizing that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on so I don't forget. What I'm going to do now is hit MT on my keyboard, and that's going to pull up the extrude tool, and basically I just want to extrude that in, not out, but in, and bring it in just a little ways. Alright, that's good. So now we have some space there within which our arms, our shoulders, and our hips can fit into the model. Alright, one more thing that we're going to do here before we move on to creating the arms is we're going to adjust the body so that it fits a little bit more the curve of our actual template. So we're going to select point mode this time, and Live Selection Tool, hit your spacebar, uncheck only select visible elements, and I'm going to click outside of my model, hold down, and paint the first 2 points, and again you can see that it's painted all the way across. I'm going to bring that in a little bit, click outside, paint, and bring it in. Just making this match my model here. And so I don't have this curvature here, I'm going to go ahead and bring this out a little bit. I want more of a outie than I want any. Alright, same thing with these two. Bring that in, and bring that in. So we got a nice fit there. I'm going to do the top side. And again, notice I'm not holding the blue and bringing it in because it only goes in one direction. You can hold anywhere outside of that, but when I use my live selection tool, I need to select somewhere on the axis to be able to pull that in. Otherwise, I need to switch to the move tool to be able to move that wherever I put my cursor. So if I'm in live selection mode here, I need to select here or on the band itself. If you don't see a band, we will just hold on to that point there at the corner and bring that in. Last thing here, I'm going to get my space bar, and right now I have this in my way, so I'm just going to go on the top side of it. In this case I only want to go down, so I'm just going to hold on the actual arrow that's pointing in the y-axis and bring that down. Alright, that looks pretty good there. Let's look at our front. I'll go ahead and make this big here. And you can see now I want to bring some of these points here in just a little bit. So paint, grab, pull that in, paint, grab, and bring that in. In this case, we want to bring this in quite a bit further. So drag that in, and drag that in. It's fairly even for what we need. If you wanted to, another thing you could do is select both sides at the same time. Use the scale tool and just scale it in so you get an even scaling. That would be another way to approach it. Again, there's no wrong way, only which way works best for you and is most efficient for you. So you go ahead and scale that in. And scale these in just slightly. And down. Now all these bottom polygons that I just selected, as you notice there's a bit of a curve there based upon what we have here, so I want to be sure that I don't pull this up too directly because this template here is telling me that I need to have that curve. Alright, so there's the body of our robot. We will come back and make some refinements, bevel some edges to give it a little bit more smoothness and roundness, but for right now we're going to call that finished. So File, Save, and we will, in the next video, we will move on to creating the arm.